to having to write so much paperwork you just want to quit.
Yep. Make you a secretary.
Oh, yeah. I'm really good at writing. Really good. I just, no.
Well,
Not my style.
The bad thing is, if you look at what's, been printed in the media, and, I'm hearing through DOD and all this other stuff, the cuts that are coming down the road in 2014, I'll talk about the Army because that's kind of, my environment, is what are we going to be left with? What kind of Army are we going to be left with?
The same kind of Army that we have in Savannah, Georgia right now that are out gunning down people like it's freaking Chicago.
Well, couple that with the integration of women, and I love women. I got nothing against women. If we could make it a perfect world and not lower the standards, and women wanted to try out for combat arms and special forces and stuff, then fine. I mean, I think it's a logistical nightmare, but if they could pass the test, it is what it is.
Right.
However, we all know that they're going to lower the standards to a ridiculous level.
Well,
because they're going to have they're going to have some magic quota that they have to fill, and it's the combat arms life, the lifestyle, the infantry, all that. It's you have a short shelf life because you do some rough stuff. It's hard on your body, And I don't think we don't. There's a great cognitive dissonance. We don't seem to realize we have more sports injuries. We have as many sports. We have more sports injuries now than we ever did before because we're carrying 900,000 pounds of gear. You look at the guys that fought in World War II. The heaviest guy on a squad was a bar gunner.
Right.
They were carrying half of what we carry today, if that. Now, granted, the armor is, I would say, worth it because nobody wants to get shot. But
well, I think the armor is worthless. Honestly, in a lot of instances, that armor is what gets you killed.
Makes you
being
too
light on your
being
light on your feet and able to move. I'm telling you, that's the ticket.
Well, go on, Seth.
I know every time being in a recon unit, in a LURS unit, there were a lot of missions where we went out without armor. And I know I never got shot at without armor on where I didn't think, God damn, I wish I had armor. Oh, sorry. I wish I should have worn my armor. I think to a degree it's probably mission dependent. But I don't know that Of course, you probably have more experience than I do, so I can't really argue with you on it. But I would say anything direct action, I would like to have the armor myself.
Yeah, all I can say is going up 18 flights of stairs in Delta high rises, loaded down with an M14 and 7 mags of that. And all my body armor and my pack and a radio plus extra batteries. Extra 35 pounds really got me.
Easy.
Well, now I don't know anybody who's in any of the Ranger regiments or anything here lately, but the traditional light infantry role in like Seth was saying, there's a reason I went military intelligence because I was not cut out to be an infantryman. I just wasn't, and I knew that, and I accepted that, and I was cool with that. So I understand that that it's hard on the body and everything like that, and it's not for everyone. But we did some training before I got commissioned and all that, and it was all light infantry stuff. You just wear your golf cap and TA-50 and all that. Now, are the light infantry units still training like that? Or are they trying to compete in the woods with their body armor and 18 magazines sticking out on the front of their rack and all this stuff. How are they training now? Anybody?
I can't speak on how current infantry units are training. I can't really speak on it at all. I mean, my experience is as a Lursk guy is extremely narrow, so
right.
That would be out of my lane.
I know. I just retired. I know that it's a requirement for everybody in 3ID. If you're going out in the field and you're training, you're in full rack. Wow. If you, I mean, I'm talking gunnery. You're out there for weeks on time. You're in full rack. Going to the rifle range. The only time you take your rack off is when your initial 0. Then you confirm with your rack on, and then you go, qualify with your rack on. I know the last time I was in Iraq, you were leaving the wire without your rack on. Period. And I'm talking that's the Lars guy. The Lursk guys that were out on the Syrian border, full battle rattle, 100% of the time.
Oh, that just sounds. I just can't imagine snooping and pooping through the woods of Fort Benning. The fact that reconnaissance and surveillance patrol or whatever, wearing 150 pounds, 200 pounds of gear. That's just. I just don't know how effective that is.
Yeah, we'd go out on, SKTs, small kill teams. We'd unload in our rack. We'd unload it here, and we'd get to our hide, and then we'd download or downgrade from there. But then we have 4 walls of concrete around us.
Right.
So I don't know.
But like the great sage said, these times they are changing.
Yeah, they're changing. They're not changing for the best. But all right, let's get into the topic of our radio show tonight. The portrayal of a gunfighter in literature and the role. I mean, I know a lot you could take out of the book. Sorry, Seth, I haven't read it yet. I haven't had an opportunity. I will fix that problem, though.
Jay, call me if you need help with the big words, okay?
Oh, yeah. Don't worry, I will.
Ouch.
Yeah. I called Don. He used to fly helicopters. He might have, big word terminology.
Yeah, I be educated. Yeah.
So, but in this day and age, looking at, I guess there's a character's name's Jeb. As a fighter, what can us readers take from that as a tactical role?
That's an interesting question. When I think in terms of tactics, I don't. Jeb is a warrior. That's Jeb. Whatever job he's doing, whether he's protecting someone or putting somebody in the scope, whatever, it's a job. He is a warrior. He's going to live by his code, and he's going to do whatever he feels is the best in any given situation according to his code. And that, to me, is the essence of Jeb as a character. As far as tactically, I don't really know. To me, tactics change with situations. So
yeah,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to answer that question.
Let's maybe look at it from a different perspective. From maybe instead of the tactics, and thinking about the gunfighters through literature, and I started jotting some notes down. You're going way back. You have the the Ronin, in the Bushido code.
Mm-hmm.
Then you move forward into the duelist of the 18th century, and then you move, at that period of time, you had like the Scarlet Pimpernel, who was a gunfighter and duelist, the Reverend Dr. Sin, and the Scarecrow series of books. He was a gunfighter and smuggler. Bringing on forward to the gunfighters of the American West in the duelist. And then bring it, even further forward to the portrayal of the gunfighter in modern media in movies, in the 1950s and all, the gunfighters and the paladin and all that stuff. Move it into the 80s where you had Sonny Crockett, and then you had the excellent movie you talked about earlier, Heat, and then moving it on into present day is the evolution of the single warrior, the protector of the innocent, and how that's almost like a common archetype.
Well, there is a common archetype, and you could say that it all starts with Don Quixote, because modern literature starts with Cervantes, and
yes.
there is a lot from the archetype there, especially when you move into the later half of Don Quixote, where he is more cynical and world weary, and he realizes his folly. But before that, everybody needs heroes. Culture needs heroes, and before that, we had the great sagas, like the epic poems, like Orlando Furioso, which Cervantes, a little background on Cervantes. Cervantes was an interesting cat. He had been a soldier, sailor, a mercenary. He was a POW. He'd taken POW by the Barbary pilots. He lost the use of his hand. So when he started writing Don Quixote, he was going through. One could say that he was probably going through a lot of the same issues that the rest of us face when we come home from war. And there's a one of my favorite memes, one of my favorite pictures is this guy. He's got his full battle rattle on. He's got his M4 up. There's a door being blasted open. He's running in the smoke, and it says PTSD means you'll never be this cool again. And there's more truth to that than a lot of times people want to realize. I used to, when I first came home, I'd go out with my brother and all his hipster friends in North Dallas, and they're wonderful people, whatever. But we couldn't relate to each other, and I'd be sitting there trying to chat up some chick, and she'd be like, she'd want to talk about the war. Oh my God, it's so horrible. You must have seen such horrible things. I'm like, no, I missed it. I wish I could go back. Talking to you, or trying to talk to you about it, is more traumatic than actually doing it.
Yeah.
People don't get that, though. They don't understand.
But from there, literally, like, I would say Jeb's biggest, if there was a direct path to Jeb, it would obviously be Don Quixote. And then there's the Lonesome Cowboy and the Masterless Samurai. It's a funny sort of, they take a funny path. They're very parallel. They take very parallel paths, because many of the traits that we idolize are exactly the same. And you get into some different weird cultural BS or whatever, what makes what different, and I'm not going to get into that, because it's a exercise in mental mastication. But with Jeb, it would be